What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Well, tonight is AEW Revolution 2001. So we got ourselves a hefty card here for Revolution that I'm actually quite excited about. So we have an 8-match card with a one match taking place on the pre-show. So that looks pretty good here. We're also going to talk about, the Wednesday Night War, which was the go-home show to that. I know I promised to have the Wednesday Night War up on Thursdays, but sometimes, like I said, me and Prime have been so blindsided for the past couple weeks that we just can't get to it. Sometimes on that Wednesday, we see it on Wednesday night, but I'm like, well, we're going to record the podcast on the weekend, so we'll just drop it on the weekend as well. But once again, I do plan on coming to you guys Thursday. The schedule, most like, I don't know if it's going to change or not, because throughout the later on the podcast, NXT is now moving to Tuesdays, so it can't, it's so bad it can't compete with AEW, but now it's going to just take out Impact. So there you go. So I guess Impact got their wish of having a war with WWE in some kind of capacity, and maybe this time they could probably win. Not they can, but once again, AEW Revolution, I'm actually excited about this one. So, and there's a couple matches that I am truly excited about. Then it's also built around a huge announcement that Paul White is going to make of who the new AEW signee is. They don't, if it's somebody like on the level of CM Punk, Batista, Goldberg, whatever the case may be, Paul White has the scoop that he's going to give us on Revolution. So we'll talk about that when we get to the end of the predictions. So for right now, in the pre-show, we have a tag team match of Rio and Thunder Rosa taking on Dr. Brent Baker, DMD, and Rebel. Honestly, me personally, this is a kind of a I thought as though that Britt Baker should have been the one to beat Nyla Rose, and she should be in the finals of that tournament that they have for the women. But I know that they try to have like a big brawler match when it came to Rio and Nyla Rose, but then once again, it just didn't. It didn't do great for me. So once again, I was like, it kind of much was let down. I would like to see Britt Baker in that position, but now, we got Hikaru Shida and Rio taking on, for that championship match. But I'll get to that later. But right now, she's stuck in a tag team matchup in the pre-show, and this looks like that it is tailor-made for Rio and Thunder Rosa to take home the victory here. So I'm gonna give it to Rio and Thunder Rosa. Usually I'm not gonna be into the pre-shows, don't watch the pre-shows that much, but I'm gonna give it to Rio and Thunder Rosa here. So we better go into our main card to take a sip of water right here. Make sure you always got water on the podcast like that, because you can talk and get all got no voice left and nothing like that. So we got a Casino Tag Team Royale, and the Casino Tag Team Royale, and it's just whoever wins is going to be for the future of the AEW Tag Team Championship match. I don't know if one member of the team has to be eliminated or both members of the team have to be eliminated. I'm not necessarily sure, but these are the teams that's going to be in there. We have Bear Country. Why? The Dark Order is going to represent a lot. We got the Dark Order of Alex Reynolds and John Silver. We have the Dark Order of Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. We also have the Dark Order of Alan Angels and Preston Vance. I think that's 5 and 10. So I see the Dark Order. It was all about Brody. Inner Circle, Santana and Ortiz, or Pride and Power, however you want to call them. The Butcher and the Blade, Private Party, Death Triangle, Pac and Ray Phoenix. The Sindel brothers, Matt Sydal and Mike Sindel. I didn't know the Sandel. I didn't know he had a brother, to be honest with you. The Gun Club. Oh, Lord. The Pretty Picture, which is Pretty Peter Avalon and Cesar Benoni. No, thank you. SoCal Uncensored, which is Daniels and Kazarian. The Natural Nightmares, Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall. Varsity Blondes, Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Grayson. And Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. So my pick for the win here is, I know everybody probably was thinking about Death Triangle. I am still a Private Party guy, and I feel as though that you could probably get some, because the Young Bucks, I don't know if you want to consider them heels, faces, gray area, I'm not necessarily sure, but I could definitely see, Private Party getting an upset win over here, and then you can have Private Party taking on the Young Bucks. Not saying that Private Party necessarily has to win and beat to come, but they're going to be tag team champions one day, and especially with them booking them with Matt Hardy, you never know how the night's going to go. But if Private Party can necessarily win, because the way I have things going, if I have, spoiler alert for Matt Hardy losing, but I'll get to that matchup later, but I think that it'll help benefit that maybe Private Party wins. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Private Party, everybody's going to expect Jurassic Express. Everybody's going to expect Death Triangle. I'm going to go with Private Party on this one to win the Royale. Oh, so okay, I read the rules. It's like a Royal Rumble. 2 teams will start the match every 90 seconds. A new team will enter the match. The match will continue until there's only one competitor or team remaining. So my God, that's gonna be necessarily a match. Like, how long is Revolution gonna be? Good Lord, how long is Revolution gonna be? This like, they booking this like WrestleMania, and I'm like, I thought that was Double or Nothing. And I hope they put this out on Blu-ray, stuff like that, because they don't have a network for me to go back and watch this on. So I will actually buy this one. Tag team matchup. Well, first off, we're going to start the night off. I know I start off with the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal, but I know the Young Bucks is going to go up against Jericho and MJF. Me personally, I said this before in some of my other Wednesday night War reviews, that I'm sorry. I love Jericho as my favorite wrestler. You know what I'm saying? He does his personal life as he does his personal life. He can't keep up with these young. He can't keep up with the Young Bucks, man. Like, Jericho is more and more in AEW is showing his age, and I'm like, he'll hit a good juice effect on there. I mean, of course MJF is younger, but I don't know if Jericho gonna hang with these guys. I don't know if that's gonna mess with the match or not mess with the match. I don't necessarily know, but it's like, is it getting me excited for it or not? I'm gonna say sure. I'm pretty sure they could put together and craft a good match. But they ain't gonna just run circles around Jericho, which they could. But I don't have an outcome where Jericho and MJF win, unless you want to try to further the storyline, or this storyline with him and MJF is going to necessarily go. But I don't see the Young Bucks. I don't see the Young Bucks losing here. They shouldn't. I think it should be a rift between Jericho and MJF. Like I said, I don't know how long the storyline is going to be going on though. But I got the Young Bucks winning. Next we have another tag team match player. We got Miro and Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford taking on the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, because Trent's still injured. Okay, well, there's no need for Miro to lose his match. You need to give Miro a win here. And Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy has been getting the best of Miro and Kip Sabian ever since the wedding. So, of course, obviously, it gives time to showcase here. But I do think Chuck Taylor takes the pin. I want Chuck Taylor to take the pin. And Miro and Kip Sabian get the win here. It helps Miro out a lot in that regard. So I think it's going to be an all Miro in this kind of matchup. Okay, let's go to the big money match. We have Hangman Page taking on Big Money Matt. So this is what I was saying before, because I don't see, there's no reason for Matt Hardy to win this matchup. It does nothing for Matt Hardy. Adam Page needs to win. Nothing for Matt Hardy for him to even try to win this matchup. Another sip of water there. So what I have is Hangman winning the match against Matt Hardy. So if he takes off his quarter earnings, he still signed Private Party and get 30% of their earnings. And what better way to get a boost is if they win that match and get a shot at the Tag Team Championship. So it's like he never lost no money in the first place. So I can see that kind of storyline playing out, because if Matt Hardy wins this whole thing with trying to sign Adam Page and getting the money, stuff like that, especially when he's trying to loosely tie to the Dark Order right now, he doesn't need all that extra stuff. So, me personally, I'm definitely gonna say Adam Page wins this matchup, and that's gonna open the door for Private Party to win their matchup. Just saying, it's a long shot in the dark, but I have a feeling. Singles match for the AEW World Championship: Hikaru Shida taking on Ryo Mitsunomi. I don't necessarily know what the deal with them doing Japanese competitors over on the U.S. soil, if they're going back to Japan afterwards. I mean, it's kind of a dead giveaway. I don't see Shida losing the championship just yet. I mean, it's going to be a good clash of strong style, especially what happened on Dynamite the past week, where they were just giving each other strong shot styles. I mean, there's hits. I was like, woo, man, they crazy over there. Just crazy. But I can definitely see that kind of stuff happening. But it's gonna be a hard hitting match. It's definitely gonna be a hard hitting matchup. But there's no reason. I have Shida winning this matchup and retaining her AEW Women's Championship. So now we go into some of these bigger matches here. We got the Face of the Revolution ladder match for a future of the AEW TNT Championship. So we have Cody Rhodes taking on Scorpio Sky, taking on Pentagon Jr., taking on Lance Archer versus Matt Caster and a to-be-announced opponent. Don't know who the to-be-announced is, or if they did have a to-be-announced person, y'all can post out in the comments below who that person may be, because I honestly know who it's going to be. But me personally, if y'all want to push, I think Scorpio Sky should be the one to get the nod here. Scorpio Sky has been doing pretty good, and I think Scorpio Sky can do good at being a TNT champion. And if y'all guys want to push somebody of color or push a black guy, this is a better way to do it than that tag team match where Cody was in a couple weeks ago at the beginning of Black History Month. That's not how you do it. But Scorpio Sky, who's been putting in the work, I can see him doing it. I mean, Cody, we know Cody's been there. Cody was the first one. Cody had the best storylines and the best match when it comes to the TNT Championship, and he already won against Darby. We don't need to see Cody right now. Cody's not going to be hurt by losing this matchup. Then it's like, okay, Pentagon Jr., okay, that would be kind of cool, but he's there to be the spot monkey. We already know if Lance Archer wins, well, then that belt is his, but I think you can put Lance Archer to bigger, better things also. I just see Scorpio Sky can be the wild card clear winner here. I'm going to go with Scorpio Sky, and I can see him in the future, maybe not the first time, but could probably he's going to have that TNT Championship around his waist. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be the first time against Darby Allin. I think they're going to probably want to keep Darby strong, but I think definitely Scorpio Sky is going to have that belt sometime in 2021, but I have him win the ladder match here. Now we go on to the street fight. Team Taz, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks taking on Darby Allin and Sting. I want to get this off right now after seeing Dynamite, and I want to say that I apologize, because me personally, I really thought Sting's career was done after what happened at Night of Champions in 2015, even though that was 5 years ago, and WWE has not used him since that Seth Rollins match. But he been wanting that match and clearing with that match for the Undertaker, and to be honest with you, Undertaker probably didn't want to give it to him. Vince didn't want to give it to him, and I'm sitting there looking at Sting, and even in this the small little interaction that Sting has had with Brian Cage, whether he has taken a powerbomb or he has taken a Scorpion Death Drop or did a Scorpion Death Lock, and the Stinger Splash is what impressed me the most. I think he could have did it. He could have had a match with the Undertaker, and that could have been the great send off for them. That it could have did that, but no, WWE is being fucking WWE all the time. So Sting is back to Turner where his home. Now, the way the street fight is going to go, I think it's going to be more of a cinematic match. I mean, these guys are not going to be sitting there brawling all around the ring like the Nation of Domination and, LOD at WrestleMania 13. We're not doing that Chicago street fight kind of stuff. So, I think it's going to be more of a cinematic match after seeing the whole cinematic cutscenes between Sting and Darby Allin. And Darby going to do some crazy shit. I know he's going to do some necessarily crazy stuff here. But the question is, who do I have winning? I have Team Taz winning. For some reason, I have Team Taz winning, because you can't forget about Taz's son. You can't forget about Powerhouse Hobbs. These guys are still part of the team. You can't forget about Taz. Can't forget about these guys. I know they're going to try to find a way to interfere in the first place. Sting don't need no wins. Sting is Sting. Darby Allin is the TNT champion. Darby, it's like, okay, he's still the champion, but I think to elevate Team Taz and make them a threat, Team Taz will pick up the win here. I know Darby Allin will probably take a coffin drop off some kind of bridge and miss and fly through a shack or something like that, and then Sting gets double team and gets that power bomb by Cage. He not giving Sting no drill claw. If he gives Sting a drill claw, Sting needs to retire right now. Sting should not, at his 60 years old, should not be taking no drill claw by Brian Cage. But I do believe it's going to be a cinematic matchup. I think it's going to be an entertaining matchup, one of the ones that I'm mostly waiting for. And I believe that Team Taz will do better coming out here with the victory. So, going on to what is going to be the main event. Kenny Omega taking on Jon Moxley in an exploding barbed wire death match for the AEW World Championship. My God. This thing here, it's different when you see Mick Foley and Terry Funk do it, when you see them having a C4 and they just doing these little suplexes off of, like, the second ladder rung onto the C4 and it's exploding. These guys is on another athletic level than Mick Foley and Terry Funk was when they had that C4 matchup. I could just see anywhere from V-triggers into exploding V-triggers, exploding paradigm shifts, exploding clotheslines, exploding dives through the ropes. I just see all kinds of things the way these guys are going to go at it. And the exploding barbed wire gimmick, I just, like I said, I think it's going to be that whole C4 thing. It just blows up. It's going to be a brutal match. It's going to be a death matchup too, and I cannot wait to see it. It may be a little much because the unsanctioned match that Moxley and Omega had at All Out, I think it was that All Out or Full Gear. Full Gear, that they had at Full Gear. Some people was like, man, that is just a little much. You know what I'm saying? Because they went out there for 30 minutes and they just had this a brutal style matchup, and now they got this exploding barbed wire death match. And you're like, okay, if that was enough, I definitely see like a one-wing angel on some C4 and exploding. Or such as I can see a paradigm shift on some exploding barbed wire. Like, it's going to be, bring the wire cuts, because these guys going to get stuck in some shit. All right, and they did a barbed wire spot at Full Gear when they had the unsanctioned match. They did the suplex in the barbed wire, so that's going to all explode now. But the question is, who's going to be the winner? And I'm like, okay, well, fine. When it comes to being who the winner, Kenny Omega retained the championship. They got too much good things going on with him and Don Callis going over to Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling's viewership has jumped. Not by much, but it has jumped. And that is due to the fact that Kenny Omega's over there and he's doing it being a good champion, whatever the case may be. And I don't see, especially with the arrogant interest and the way Kenny Omega has changed himself, I don't see Moxley taking it just yet. Moxley will get his championship back, but right now, this death match, he's not going to win this match, especially when he's about to become a father. I don't know how long Renee Young is on, but this could be a way to write him off so he can go be a dad and he can come back, and nurse Renee Young and just, like I said, just be a dad before he comes back. So this will be a good way to write him off. Kenny Omega retains here. So guys, that is my AEW Revolution predictions here. Make sure you come back to the channel and hit subscribe to make sure you guys check out the review of, like I said, we're not going to go live with this review, but check out the review. It should hopefully be up by Monday. Hopefully Prime is back with me to watch that, because I know he wants to see it. I don't know if he's actually going to go, because he lives in that Jacksonville area, so you never know if he's going to go or not. So we got to see it. And once again, I know we're watching the All-Star game first before I come back to this. So